Hi, everyone. Okay, my name is Jasmine, and today I'll be giving my presentation on why you shouldn't impulsively cut bangs at 2 a.m. 365 days ago, made the worst mistake of my life, and I cut my bangs impulsively at 2 a.m., and it continues to traumatize me every day. Without further ado, let's get started. Oops, there we go. Okay, so just a quick little background about my own personal story. About a year ago, back in June 2020, I was extremely depressed, but I was in denial about that. So I was convincing myself that I wasn't, right? And I thought, you know what? Maybe now is the time to cut bangs. I went through with it, and as you can see, some of my graphics over here, this is what I looked like right after I cut them. I want to save you from making the same mistake that I did. And save you a year of just absolute hell. Save your tears, save those tears for another day. Let's continue. Reason number one is your peers are lying to you. How you think you're going to look like with bangs, the aesthetic that you think you're going to embody is incorrect. You are lying to yourself. You're seeing visions of things that are not true. You will not look like Zoe Deschanel. And it's actually a pretty simple answer. The reason why is because you're not Zoe Deschanel. You're also not going to look like all those pictures you have saved on your private Pinterest board that you've titled "Might Cut Bangs, LOL." You're not going to look like any of those pictures. I learned that the hard way. Getting bangs is only fun for the first 18 to 24 hours. Hours 1 through 3. You've just freshly chopped the bang. Okay, you're FaceTiming your friends. Guys. Oh no. We transition into hours 4 through 10, where we're starting to notice inconveniences, right? You put your hair up, but you can't put the bangs into the ponytail. Kind of a negative, but we're going to convince ourselves and we're going to numb any negative emotions. We're going to push them down, and we're going to push them as far down as possible. Hour 24 rolls around and we are hit. The dopamine crashes. And it crashes hard. What have I done? Oh no, I hate it. I can't believe I've done this. Things start rolling through your head. What are solutions? What are we gonna do? Now you're Googling how to grow out your bangs, how to hide your bangs. You are desperate and you're worried and you're frightened. And there's a fight or flight response going through your body. Unfortunately, you have to stay and fight, but deep down inside, you just want to flight. And after that, the excitement is completely over with. People tell you, well, you're going to have to style them every day. At least that's what my mom told me. But I was like, Mom, you don't get it, honey. Well, my mother was correct. You do need to style them, but I was not willing to style them. So if you're somebody who thinks you're going to style them every day, you're not. So we're going to settle for one of two things. You're going to either settle for like these broom like bangs. Yeah, very similar to like that one broom that your dad keeps in the garage that we only use to sweep the garage and maybe the front of the house. And so all the little tassels of the broom are kind of melted and a little bit scraggly, right? That's what our bangs are going to look like. Your next option is the more popular option, and that's to go settle for the bobby pin. As you can see in one of our pictures down here, I settled for the bobby pins a lot. Neither option is good, and unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. All right, moving on. Yes, welcome to my favorite slide. Now, if you have a natural middle part, this does not apply to you, but I personally have what I like to call a chronic side part, which means the middle part is not for me and will never be for me. So if you have a chronic side part, you're going to deal with what I like to call the chunk. This is just, as you can see, it's just a chunk of hair on the side of your head that doesn't transition into the rest of your hair. It's just a chunk. You can't like play it off as like face framing pieces because the chunk is a little bit too short. You also can't tuck the chunk behind your ears. So the chunk just kind of hangs out for about 5 to 7 months. I would compare it to burning in the fiery pits of hell. It is unbearable pain. Nothing will ever prepare you for the pain that the chunk brings you. It's awful. All right, so now we're gonna get a little bit more raw, real, and honest. So you will cry a lot. okay? You're never going to stop complaining, but you're also a little bit scared to complain because, again, we don't want that I told you so moment. So instead, we hide that and we push it down, and those emotions only arise when it's about 8 p.m. You are, it's the end of your day. You've just stripped naked to take a shower, that you've turned the shower on, and you look in the mirror, and you're once again reminded, you're confronted with this, and you're confronted with then your emotions, and you'll start crying uncontrollably, and you're going to lean over the countertop in your bathroom, and you're just going to stare at the bangs and just cry. Okay, so if you've listened to this whole presentation and yet you still want to cut the bang, I have some questions that I need you to repeat after me. Okay, I want you to close your eyes and ask yourself. I'll close my eyes as well. Well, actually, I have to read the question. Am I ready for the biggest 24-hour dopamine rush of my life, followed by 12 months of anger, emotional trauma, and sacrifice? I want you to just sit with that for a second. Let's just sit with that and how, yeah, deep breath. How does our body react to that, right? We don't want that. We don't want that. Another question for you. Would my therapist say I am currently emotionally stable? If you were to ask your therapist right now, hey, do you think I'm in a good place? Do you instinctually feel like they would say no? It's not time to cut the bang. It's not time. Last question. Ask yourself, am I craving bangs? Or is there a deeper emotional issue that needs to be unpacked that I refuse to face? Is there something inside of you that you are struggling with, that you are refusing to let surface? And by cutting bangs, you're trying to cover that emotion, right? I can see a lot of us nodding. Yes. If those questions didn't work for you and you are going to cut the bangs, I just have 2 rules for you. Do not cut them yourself. Literally go to supercuts. But doing it yourself, your arms aren't made to cut that perfect angle. My next requirement for you is you are only allowed to cut the bangs between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. This is when we're going to be the most, even if we're not emotionally stable, this is where we're going to be at our peak of presentness, and we will be able to make the right choices. In conclusion, do not do it. Your life is fine now. Even if your life isn't that great right now, your life is better than it would be if you had bangs. I promise you. If you're still craving change in your life, here are some suggestions. Literally dye your hair. Even if it's permanent, you can dye it another color. All right, there is a solution. There is a back button. For the bangs, there is no back button. There is no Curl Alt Delete. There is no Command Z. Another thing you could do is adopt a fun pet. I have suggested a lizard here, but other suggestions would be a parakeet, a betta fish. You could also commit to a guinea pig. You could become nocturnal. If you really want to spice up your life, just completely change around your daily routine. And if you're only getting bangs because you just want to be Jess from New Girl, just start drinking tea from mugs from Target. That's all you need to do. All you need to do. Most girls with bangs who actually pull off bangs, that's the other half of their personality. It's 1/2 bang, 1/2 tea from quirky mugs, right? So why not just fulfill that other half? And you've basically got it. You're basically a quirky girl. All right. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening. Go subscribe. Not to plug myself. And yeah, I wish you luck on your journey. And if you do cut the bangs and you don't like them, I told you so. So thank you.